Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skysworld.com for life coaching and mentoring. I'm in the office paying some bills, taking care of business. Biketoberfest happens on Thursday. It's already pretty much happening. We did some deliveries today, drove around the truck, dropping off handlebars. Last minute stocking of retail outlets, and seems like there's a lot of bikes in town. The weather's a little bit chilly, but there's no rain in the forecast, so it should be a good event. Let's talk about anger, ways of dealing with anger. There's a lot of people right now who are really angry. There's a lot going on in the world. There may be a lot going on in your life. A combination of the two. I've talked with several people, both Christian and Jewish, mainly men, over the last week, who are particularly angry about what's going on in the Middle East. Oddly enough, I haven't talked to a single Muslim, and I haven't found any Muslim reaction online that is condemning. I haven't found a single Muslim yet, anywhere on earth, anywhere, who has condemned Hamas. But I have talked to some of my Christian friends, some of my Jewish friends, and they're mad. Some people are really mad. And rightfully so. You have a right to be angry. Some people get on with this notion of anger is like a bad emotion. You should never have anger. Anger is evil. Anger is feminine. Anger is terrible. Anger can do some good things. Anger can motivate you. You can use your anger as a motivator. Your anger can motivate you to go and do something. If not for that anger inside you, that fire in your belly, you wouldn't have got up off your ass to secure the border. You didn't care about the border until you got angry about the issue. You might use your anger to go and settle a beef, settle a dispute, go and protect somebody. You see something so horrible and you get angry. Some people get afraid, but certain types of warriors get angry because we know that we can handle things. And in our mind we say, hell no, not as long as I'm around. I'll stop you. Maybe nobody else can, but I will. So anger, I feel like, as long as it's used properly, it's a fine thing to experience. The trick with it is to not get lost emotionally in it, to be able to experience anger in a somewhat rational way. And that takes a few tricks. It takes a little bit of practice. When you experience yourself being angry, you have to start noticing it. That's the first step. You begin noticing when you're angry, and to label it, and to just make a mental note. I'm really angry right now. Identifying your emotion helps just bring you one step outside of the emotion. You become the observer rather than the experiencer. Being the observer is a higher ground to be on. That's the ground you want to navigate from. You can't navigate from the ground of the experiencer. The experiencer is in low ground. Imagine you're running through a valley with tons of sticks and branches, and that's the realm of the experiencer. Experiencing what's in the moment with these branches and being lost and running through the woods. I freaked out. Getting cut up and scratched up. That's the experiencer. That's how many people go through life, being scratched up by their experiences. No, the best way to navigate, the way to not be lost, is to go and find a hill, climb the hill, get to the high ground and see the land. Especially if you're lost in the woods, because you might just have been walking around in circles. You might get up on that hill and realize, parking lot's over there. Don't worry, we're fine. Which you needed to get that high ground to see that. And that's emotionally, you need the high ground. So stepping outside of our emotional response, out of our emotional reaction, to notice our emotions is the first step in gaining control over yourself. You can still be angry, just like you could still be sad at something and not slip into a depression because you're not allowing the emotion to overtake you. You can rationally go through that emotion and allow yourself to naturally experience emotions without suppressing them like some people do, turn themselves into robots. You can be an emotional human, but in control of yourself. This is an aspect of Stoicism. People get confused when they think of Stoicism as if you're going to erase emotion. You're going to just be some robot, emotionless man. And I think a lot of people who look at anger as something terrible to experience either can't really get into a mindset of self-control. They can't find the higher ground. Or they're too afraid of that monster within that it'll overtake them, so they suppress. Allow yourself to be angry, but notice that you're angry, that you're experiencing it. And then take it to the next step. Once you've noticed that, okay, I'm angry, that's what's going on, I'm clearly angry. Start asking yourself some questions. Ask yourself why. Just keep asking why, and you'll get responses. And ask why after every one of them, until you can't answer it anymore, or until you get right down to it. The point of this second part of the exercise is to get specifically right to the point of why I'm angry. What is exactly it, and can I verbalize it? Can I express it in one sentence of exactly why I'm angry and pinpoint it? Laser focus in on it. You can't take a target out if you can't focus in on it. How are you going to shoot a target if you don't have it clearly in your sights? And this process, this little exercise of you get to know yourself better, and very often when you've got into this inquisitive conversation of finding out, trying to discover why you're angry, specifically why, it may happen very quickly, and you may go through this whole process in 5 seconds. It may take you 5 minutes. It may take you all day. But once you've gotten to that point, you're really in a position of power. You can take action, and that's the next step. You recognize that you're experiencing a negative emotion. You dive into that emotion and diagnose exactly what's wrong with you, like a mechanic would with a car or a motorcycle, and then you take action. You fix it. You order up those parts. You get the right wrench out. You have to get on top of this. If you're experiencing a lot of anger, like some of the guys I've talked to this week, it feels like their lives are on a thread. I know what that feels like. I'm experiencing some of this myself. I may be a little bit more stable, a little bit more sturdy on my feet walking this path than some of you. But I'm with you. I feel on edge. I'm walking the line like Johnny. Oh, you guys can't see. I got a Johnny Cash poster right here. There's several ways that you can take action to get rid of your anger. One way I suggest is to get into nature. It's hard to be angry when you're in nature. Submerge yourself in nature. When I say in nature, you want to touch it. So don't just go look at the woods, go into the woods. Don't just go look at the beach from the parking lot. Take your shoes off and go put your feet in the sand and feel the water and realize where you are geographically. You're at the beach, you're on the edge of the continent of America. You're looking at a massive ecosystem full of life, an alien world, so to speak, another dimension almost that you can't really even access for very long. Enjoy and appreciate where you are in the environment. It's hard to be angry in nature. You can meditate, but you have to understand what meditation is. Meditation isn't suppression. You're not going to meditate to suppress. You're not going to meditate to escape. It's not a vice. It's a spiritual practice. So you can get into meditation. These types of activities calm the spirit. Hobbies are good. Any kind of creativity is an excellent way. I think the creative outlet is probably one of the best ways that you can release that pent-up anger inside of you. Musicians know this. A singer of a rock band knows this. Write those lyrics from your soul, from your heart, and sing them like nothing else matters. Right? Dance like nobody's watching, you know, that whole thing. I mean, when you see some of these rock stars up there, I like rock and roll music, you see some of these guys up there pouring their heart out, jumping around, flailing around on stage, running back and forth. You ever seen Iron Maiden in concert? That motherfucker runs back and forth and all over. They set up these elaborate stages. By the time the show is over, he has had a massive workout. That is such amazing therapy. I like to write books. That's good therapy for me. I'm a particularly violent person. And I write really violent novels about organized crime. I just finished the first draft of my third novel. And I find that's a good outlet for me. To get rid of all that stuff, to dump all that bullshit. So find a creative outlet. This will help you with your anger. Go meditate. Go out into nature. Go exercise. It's something I didn't talk about. End the video off on that. Go exercise. It's food for thought.